Your journey is so incredible. That's why I love that you were on Finding Your Roots with Henry Louis Gates. Finding Your Roots. It was such a powerful episode.
Look at me finding out all that struggle.
I mean, I gosh, the big revelation, because you always thought you were Roy Wood Jr.
Yeah.
But then you learn that your father, who was a civil rights journalist, Roy Wood Sr., that's your dad.
That's Pops.
You thought you were Roy Wood Jr., but Henry Louis Gates discovered that you were actually Roy Wood III.
Yes, and apparently, you know, black people paperwork wasn't solid back in the early 1900s. And so, you know, my father's paperwork got mixed up somehow, and just, you know, later on in life, I was just Junior. Everybody called me Junior, and legal as the paperwork. But, you know, the people over there with Finding Your Roots, they traced my family literally all the way back to the slave ship that dropped us off.
They found the name. They found the name of Roy's first ancestor.
The first person from Africa who set foot on this soil.
And you say his name, because I think you
Samuel Wood.
Samuel Wood.
And
I got goosebumps.
that was powerful. Now, what he also found out was the name of the white folks that bought Samuel. And he also found out the names of that white person's descendants. And I know where they live in Georgia to this day. Now, I'm not saying it's time for a reparations field trip, but I'm considering my options.
I saw that picture of your dad, and knowing that you lost your dad at such a young age, it made me think about you and your baby, Henry, your son. He's 6 years old. And what is that like for you now? Because you've taken a break in some ways to really focus in on it. Look how cute.
Well, yeah, he's 6 now, and so, you know, the concept of me being gone, he knows weeks, he knows months, so he can put into, you know, yeah, we took some time down during the shutdown and teach him how to ride a bike and everything, and it's more fun to be present than it is to be absent. But I think that's the duality that every parent is faced with, is providing or being present. And the quarantine gave us a year of being able to do both concurrently in some regard. But now, as it's time to get back out on the road, I want to be a little bit more precise on when I leave the house. Like, just being gone for 30, 35 weeks at a time every weekend, I don't think that's the way to go about my career.
We both lost a parent. I lost my dad when I moved here. Now I'm a mom, so he doesn't know this side of me. Your dad doesn't know this side of you, being a dad to Henry. Do you ever wonder what he would think of you as a dad, or what he's thinking about?
I just hope that when he gets older, because, you know, a lot of it, I hate to say it this way, but a lot of it depends on when I die. Because if he loses me early in his life, then he's gonna go back and start putting pieces together, and he's gonna listen to old podcasts and clips and watch episodes of you and I. And I hope that he just understands that his worth is defined by what he wants to aspire to. And also, the biggest mistake that I made, the only regret that I have in my life, is that I did not surround myself with positive people sooner. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, if you're talking about uplifting, you're talking about dream building, you're talking about emerging from an emotional divot in your life, it is important to be running with people that also have goals and ambitions. They don't have to have the same goal and ambitions as you, but they have to have something they're driving at, because there's gonna be days that you're gonna be emotionally tired and exhausted. And, you know, it's like when you're running with your team, you've been jogging, running, you exhausted, and that one teammate comes from behind and pats you on the back and go, come on, man, we gotta keep going. You need those people in your life. And so if it's not me, I just hope he finds those people. So my job in the interim is to be the teammate, to pat him on the back and say, come on, let's keep going. You know, I had a conversation with one of Henry's grandmothers, and, you know, maybe I was pushing him a little too hard that day. And she said to me, Roy, he's 6. And it just resonated, like, that sentence continues to echo in my head, because, you know, as a father and you're raising a black man, the issue that I have is that I want to treat him like a boy, but I'm raising him in a world that's going to treat him like a man long before he should be treated like a man. And I don't know the balance of letting him be a child versus giving him the lifelong tools that he will need for the rest of his days. So that's the struggle every day. But to teach that, I cannot be in a comedy club in random state 35 weeks out of the year. So I have to be a little more. I gotta be strategic about that. Wow. You know, I got to be there to give him that black daddy stare.
Yeah. or to give him a suit that he can be photographed in, that he can show you 30 years later.
When he's 13, I'm going to put him in a 25-year-old suit.
I'm
going to put him in this jacket.
You are one of my favorites, top to bottom, not just comedians, but you are one of my favorite people. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. Roy Wood Jr., Roy's film, Confess Fletch, is in theaters and available on demand and on digital. And you can always, of course, catch him on his podcast, Roy's Job Fair.